Hi, hello. This is Autumn, obviously, and if you saw the title of this video, you will know that I am venting and ranting and all of that fun stuff. But first, we're gonna talk about some of my skincare to get really into the mood. So, I figured it would be a good idea to kind of do these things together, so also I don't get too worked up about recent events. So, I start off my face routine in the shower, as one does, and I use Mario Badescu Acne Cleanser. So great, we're off to a good start. I also have a little, the Retro Frigidaire, and I use it as a skincare fridge. Fun times. Now we're gonna start off with, I love this brand, Good Molecules, it is amazing. And these are the caffeine energizing hydrogel patches, which is what you just read. So I'm gonna put those on and we're gonna discuss. So hi, how are you doing? You're doing good? Great, I'm so happy for you. Me? Oh, how am I doing? Oh, well, my friend, not good, not great, been better, definitely been better. So yeah, where to start? Fair warning, this video might get a little slightly TMI, so yeah, if you're not into that, just go away, and there will be other videos for you that aren't so TMI, but this one is because that's what's been going on. I put this on a little too low. Okay, so, I've been in flare-up, and you might be thinking, oh, you're in a flare-up of your, walking stuff. No. I've been in a flare-up of one of my other medical conditions that is one of the happy fun times that comes along with Ehlers-Danlos. I'm going to leave a link to my video where I talk about what it's really like to be disabled, and that will give you a good rundown of some of the little fun things that I have to do in my daily life. And I'll give you a little bit of a rundown of what specifically I have to do for the condition that is flared up right now. See, the fun thing about Ehlers-Danlos is it causes so many comorbidities. So, at any time, one of those could flare up. Or multiple. Or just one. Or all. Who knows? Who knows? You never know. You never know. So, for me, the condition that's been flared up is my GI dysmotility. What's that, Autumn, you might be asking if you are unaware. So it means that part of my GI tract, the lower part, does not work properly. So your GI tract, for somebody that has an able-bodied GI tract, is mobile. You have motility. Things move through it. Now you're getting why this is a TMI video. Mine does not. I get blockages. And it's a super happy, fun time. Now, I have been dealing with this since I was born, baby. My mom likes to say I came out of the womb constipated. I mean, she's not wrong. She's not, just joking around. That is literally what happened. So yeah, this has been a long time coming. But like many things with Ehlers-Danlos, it is progressively getting worse and worse and worse. Sorry, I can't get the lid of this. There we go. So, a couple of weeks ago, I started having these episodes that I get where my belly, my abdomen, blows up like a balloon, and it looks like I am 9 months pregnant and about to have a baby. So that's fun, that's great, that's been happening for a while. We've been known. I have known that was an issue since I was about 17, 16, I think is when it really started to become noticeable, and these bloating episodes were like, whoa, that's not normal. That's not normal. But anyways, I was having that, and I thought that it was a ruptured ovarian cyst, because I get those too all the time, because my body is very spicy. And never in the fun ways. Never in the fun ways. So I thought that's what was happening, the first time. The first time that was what my guess was. Then it happened again, and I was like, okay, weird. Usually when an ovarian cyst ruptures, as soon as the belly deflates, it doesn't reinflate because the fluid has passed. So this is weird. Maybe I just had multiple just decide to burst consecutively. Maybe. That's kind of what my brain was telling me. And the difficult part about abdominal issues, any issues that are like from here down, they all kind of feel the same. Because when one area is flared up and inflamed, it then causes like a domino effect where then everything around it gets inflamed. And since in the abdomen there are so many organs, just having a little mixer in there, it is very easy for any of them to become inflamed, if not all. For example, I was having issues like this a year and a half ago-ish, and I thought it was just, oh, little pain in my abdomen, ooh, and then it got worse and worse and worse, and I went to the ER, and I thought it was going to be one of the issues we've been known, but it was gallstones and an infection in my gallbladder, so I had to get that puppy out. Still got the scars, baby. But anyways, so that happened, and that's just an example of how everything can feel very similar in that area, in the abdomen. So I thought that it was uterine issues. I'm just going to put these back in the fridge for a second. I thought it was uterine issues. It was not. It was not. And I began to realize that. I began to realize that when, okay, it left again. So that was the second time it happened. But then a third time it happened. And this time, it's not going away. Or it's going away for a few hours and then it comes back and, ooh, feels like I'm giving birth. It feels like I'm giving birth. Oh my God. And not only that, but this is when a little bit of that TMI comes in. This girl been pissing herself. She been pissing herself. So that was interesting. And throwing up. So it was kind of like, which thing inside of me is not working? And, you know, there was a part of me that was like, okay, maybe it is my dysmotility, because while I have been going to the bathroom, which, by the way, I only go to the bathroom by doing an enema every single day in the morning, and even that is not foolproof, obviously. But I was like, you know, I've only been able to, you know, have non-solid movements. So I guess maybe that could possibly be what's going on. But I'll just wait it out. I'll just wait it out. And I keep waiting it out. And I keep waiting it out. And then it gets to the point where it feels like a baby's coming out of me. And I am making the noises that a woman giving birth makes. And literally like holding my stomach, gripping the wall, going like, oh God. And it feels like what I imagine giving birth feels like. It is horrific. And the pain is so intense, and it does not go away. So we went to the ER, a little trip to the ER. Oh, don't mind my air conditioning. So we did a little trip to the ER. I'm now gonna rub these along my face. I use the excess to kind of get a little bit of that caffeine energy everywhere. Anyways, so we go to the ER, and we're explaining the issues, whatever. And I spend the next 3 hours in the waiting room. Screaming. Well, not screaming, more like, Don't take that in a sexual way, please. It's not the intent. I mean, it was just pain noises, pain that you make when you're in extreme pain, for 3 hours straight. Like, I would get a break of maybe, like, a minute, and then it would start up again, and I couldn't stop. It was to the point that when other people were being called, someone came up to me, and they were like, good luck. I'm like, thank you. You know, just completely off my gourd. And then, you know, it's getting later and later and later. And about the time it hits the, you know, 2 hours, 45 minutes, 3 hour mark, I'm like, Tommy, that's my fiance, Tommy, go ask them how long it's gonna be. Ask where I am on the list, please. I'm dying. At this point, I want to go home. Especially because I heard an older gentleman say, as soon as he was called back, he was like, it's been 5 hours. And I was just like, yeah, it's been 5 hours. And sorry about that. We got a lot of people in. It's been like this all day. I'm like, oh, shit. So I'm like, Tommy, please. You know. Basically, I'm crying at this point, saying I'd rather just deal with this at home. I'd rather take half a morphine and just deal with this. He's like, okay. He goes and he says, you know, they say that you are third in line and that they don't know if it's going to be an hour, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, or 30 minutes. They don't know. And it's understandable. They never do. It's hard to tell because everything, when you go to the ER, it's so unexpected and you can't really put a time limit on how long somebody's going to be there and how long each procedure and test is going to take. And I understand that. But when you're in a lot of pain, it begins to get very frustrating. So I just, you know, Tommy tells me this and I'm like, let's just go home. I just want to go to bed. It was especially hard because we were in these chairs and they're more comfortable than other waiting room chairs that I have been in, but they're lower than my neck. So because I still am only 6 months post-op, I still have, you know, neck pain, obviously. And so being in a chair that long, especially a chair that does not have like a supportive back, even though it's more comfortable than most waiting room chairs, whatever, I just couldn't do it. I could not do it. So I said, we're just gonna leave and we're gonna come back in the morning. And so we did. Let me get my next skincare step. Again, Good Molecules, love this brand. This is the Yerba Mate Wake Up Gel. I'm terrible. Sometimes I just get things because other people tell me that they work. So, and it does work. I just don't exactly know entirely what's in it. Whatever. I never had a reaction to it, so that's my skin. Anyways, so we leave, and I kind of spend the night, you know, I took half of a morphine, and that at least got me to sleep with my other nighttime medications. I also took, you know, Advil, whatever I could. And I kind of spent the night, you know, I would wake up, and then I would start moaning and groaning again, and then I would pass out again because of fatigue. Then I would wake up, and that's kind of how I spent the night. Eventually I wake up at around 10 officially, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get out of bed now. So I got out of bed, and I go in, and I basically, you know, my belly is at this point again, like, we're talking like brow. And I'm still bloated. That is still bloat, but it's not where it was. And this was on Thursday. It is now Saturday. So I look at, you know, Tommy, and I'm like, I just want to have coffee and then leave. You know, I take my morning meds, and I'm like, I just need to have some coffee and then we can leave. And so we go. The pain isn't as bad. I would say it went from about a 9 down to an 8. Thank you, morphine, which is my emergency med. I do not take it on a regular basis. I literally take it once every few months, and I take half of my dosage because I am so scared of addiction. Anyways, let me go on to my next step while I talk about this. This is Good Molecules hyaluronic serum. I love this stuff. I got the big bottle this time. And again, everything I put in my skincare fridge. So yeah, we go. And this time, immediately, they check me in, and I go into triage, and then I am immediately taken to a room, and I'm like, oh, great. And they're awesome. This hospital I like so much better than the hospital I was going to previously. They're nicer to me. They're a lot nicer. And I just had a lot of bad experiences at the one that was near my parents' house, but the one near my fiance is A+. But anyways, they do a lot of tests, and we figure out that, yes, it is a dysmotility issue. However, as we're talking with the doctor, he says, you know, you have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And I'm like, yes, I do. How'd you know? And he's like, you know, you have this dysmotility. I'm like, yes, I do. And he goes, you're seeing this one doctor, and he is like best in the area, and he really knows his stuff when it comes to Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And I'm like, yes, how did you know? Whatever. And he's like, you know, he is going to be the one that's going to be able to help you with this issue. And I'm like, yeah, I see where this is going. He said, you know, we can admit you and try and run some other tests to ensure that this is a dysmotility issue and try and figure out what we can do to help you. But I'm going to be honest. He's like, you know, I'm going to be a little honest here. And he says that basically the gastros here he doesn't think are going to want to touch me because I've got the rare Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which really isn't in the rare category anymore, we have found. But anyways, you know, they're not really going to want to touch you because you already have this amazing gastro, and, you know, they're not exactly as well versed as he is in this. And his suggestion was to, you know, he was like, you can be admitted, I will 100% admit you, or we can transfer you to the hospital that your gastro works out of, but there's no guarantee that he's even there right now, or, you know, we have no idea when he is going to be there. Or we can send you home, I can prescribe you this medication, it was Toradol, and it was helping a bit with the pain, and he was like, you know, we can do this and send you home, and I can call on your behalf, and you can call, and we can, you know, you can try and get an appointment to talk with him and see the next step. And then he was even saying, you know, that he would suggest, as we were talking about why I've been so hesitant to go back to my gastro, he was saying, you know, there's always getting another opinion. And now we're going to get to the point where I talk to you about why I've been so hesitant to go back to my gastro. Well, I do my next step. This is the ordinary buffet. They added copper to it, and I love it more, even though it's more expensive now. But this is really good stuff. I just do a little dot. But yeah, we're talking, and he kind of says, you know, we start talking about why I haven't wanted to go back to the gastro, and why I've been so scared, and why I didn't really want this to be a motility issue. Not that anybody wants anything to be a motility, or wants anything to be any issue, whatever. The issue is that my gastro has told me since the beginning that with how severe my dysmotility is, that it is very likely that it is progressive, and that he sees it a lot in people with Ehlers-Danlos with my type of dysmotility, that it begins to get progressive, and that basically there is going to be a point where I am likely going to need an ostomy bag. You know, what's usually associated with old people? Funny thing, it's really not an old person thing. It is beginning to be more widely used in the younger population, not just because of the higher prevalence of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and other rare conditions, but also the higher prevalence in younger generations of colorectal cancer, which they're still not sure why. Anyways, it's something that is being used by the younger population, and we have talked about the fact that it's basically my decision when I've had enough of trying experimental things, trying new medications, and when I basically, not that I give up, but when I am sick and tired of having to do an enema every single day, having to take all of these medications just to have no relief, and when I'm sick and tired of these flare-ups, which is great. And that's why I've been hesitant to go back to my gastro, because I knew that things were getting worse with my dysmotility. I just didn't want to admit it. Oh, last thing I do is CeraVe, just daily moisturizer. I don't even do the one specific to the face, because it's really the same ingredients, I'm pretty sure. We talk about it. He's like, yeah, I can understand why you wouldn't want to get a stoma and an ostomy bag so young. And I can understand wanting to get a second opinion, especially if you want to get to see somebody, you know, that's a part of your, you know, you see Weill Cornell for neurology and stuff, you might want to see somebody there for gastro, somebody to work in tandem with your guy here. But, you know, it might be time to start talking about that. So, yeah, that's basically where we're at. And that's what I needed to vent about. Is now I'm doing better, obviously. I had to take, again, TMI, I had to take 3 Dulcolax last night, which is fun. It's great. You're probably sitting there like, ooh, girl, you okay? And the thing is, yeah, basically at this point, 3 Dulcolax works for me like 1 does for a normal person. I've even had to take 4 sometimes because things just don't work. But that is not a solution, because continuing to take laxatives is going to continue to weaken my digestive tract. And so this is just a quick fix. So I'm doing better now. I'm in a better place with my bloating, but I need to see him. So I called, and they told me, oh, okay, so our schedule manager isn't in until Tuesday. She's on vacation, and she's the one that can get you to be seen sooner for something that's a little bit more severe. So she comes back on Tuesday, but for now we're just going to put you in for September, but that's not permanent. And also, your doctor isn't in, and he's not in for a little bit. So, if you can wait, we'll call you on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, and get you seen, as soon as possible. But if you can't wait, please go to the ER. Luckily, things have semi-passed, but again, this is just a quick fix. This is just fixing the current blockage. But this does not in any way prevent future blockages, sadly. So that's what I kind of wanted to vent about, because I am losing my mind, because what the heck? What the heck? It's crazy, It's not just one area affected by Ehlers-Danlos significantly. It's the whole kit and caboodle. The entirety of me is affected by this condition, and that is really scary. And, I am seeing the progression of other areas of my life, and it's a scary thing. And I don't know, I wanted to vent and give you guys a little peek into this. I don't really like to constantly talk about all of the bad stuff that's going on. I do keep a lot of stuff private, even though it sometimes probably does seem like I just continuously talk about the things that disable me. Really, I do keep a lot of stuff private, but this I did want to just talk about because, it's something I've been dealing with for a while, and that I've been so ashamed of, because nobody likes to talk about poop, obviously, and also knowing that one day I might have to have an ostomy bag is scary, and I already have issues with my body, and knowing that one day I might have a little friend attached to me is not ideal. But luckily there are a lot of creators who have my conditions, or conditions that also, they're not my condition, but they're a condition that led them to need an ostomy bag. It's helpful, and it makes me feel less alone, but it is still scary. And I guess I just figured, obviously I like to make jokes and I like to be lighthearted, but I did just want you guys to kind of have some of this insight into the reality of what's going on and some of the big realities. There's still stuff that I don't talk to you guys about and that I keep private, not because I'm trying to be like shady or anything, but I don't feel as though I need to constantly dump all of my stuff onto you guys. Sometimes venting can be helpful, but there is a part of me that wants to just, in as much ways as I can, have some sense of normalcy. So I don't like to talk about all of this stuff all the time, but this is a pretty significant thing, and I felt like doing it in this way where, I also did skincare along with it. Makes it a little bit more digestible. I'm so funny. But yeah, this is the reality of my conditions, and as much as I can post content that makes it, seem like everything's fine and, nothing bad is going on, there is constantly stuff going on that's related to my disabilities. I am constantly in a state of being disabled, and as much as I can try and put on some semblance of a facade in front of the camera, I do like now being in a place where I can let you guys have a peek into my life and what's going on, because I do find comfort in it, and I do find comfort in the community that's kind of come about on this channel, and I have a lot of love for the people that support me, and yeah, I guess I just wanted to vent and talk about it and not have it be this really shameful thing that I keep bottled up. So, yeah. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. I will try and answer them. And I want to thank you guys for watching, listening, coming along on this journey with me, and just continuing to support me through everything that I do. I try and shake it up with the content that I put on this channel, but in reality, being disabled is a large part of my life. And as much as I can try and say, yes, I'm disabled, but it's not who I am, to a degree, it always will be, and it is, but that's not something to be ashamed of or to be upset about. It's just a part of me, and that's okay. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and if you have any suggestions for videos, leave them down below. If you want to comment on anything, feel free. Like, subscribe, share, please. And yeah, thank you for helping me maintain my sanity. Thank you guys. Bye.